How could Jesus be David's son, yet David called Jesus Lord? This is the question that we seek to answer today as we continue our verse-by-verse study of the book of Luke on Walking Through the Bible. The glory of his cross. If you have a Bible with you, turn to Luke chapter 20. We're going to be reading from verses 41 to 47. If you don't have a Bible, don't worry. Just follow along with us on the screen. The version that we'll be reading from is the New King James Version. So Luke chapter 20, beginning at verse 41. And he said to them, "How can they say that the Christ is the son of David? Now David himself said in the book of Psalms, 'The Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand till I make your enemies your footstool.' Therefore David calls him Lord. How is he then his son?" Then in the hearing of all the people, he said to his disciples, "Beware of the scribes who desire to go around in long robes, love greetings in the marketplaces, the best seats in the synagogues, and the best places at feasts, who devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayers. These will receive a greater condemnation." It is Tuesday, and Jesus is still in Jerusalem teaching. He has been questioned by the Pharisees and Sadducees, and successfully answered their tricky questions. After these questions, Jesus poses a question to the crowd, a question that probably confused a lot of people then, and still confuses people today. The reason he asked this question is because the Pharisees and the teachers of the Jews didn't believe that he was the Christ, the Son of God, but merely pretended to think that he was a good man for the sake of the people. The question was based on Old Testament scripture, specifically a passage in Psalms 110 verse 1, which reads, "The Lord said to my Lord, sit to my right hand till I make your enemies your footstool." David is the writer of this psalm, and the topic of the psalm is about the Messiah's reign. Jesus' question to them is this: if David calls the Messiah Lord, how can the Messiah be called his son? It is plainly obvious from the Old Testament that the Messiah would come from the house of David, for 2 Samuel 7 verses 12 and 13 says so. So the Messiah would be the son of David, that is, his descendant. Under normal circumstances, a son is never called Lord by his father. The father would be called Lord by the son. So how is it that David would call his son Lord? The point that Jesus is making is about his divinity. Jesus is the son of David. That was not in dispute. However, not all sons of David are the Messiah, for Solomon, Josiah, and Zerubbabel in the Old Testament were all sons of David, yet not the Messiah. Jesus, however, claimed not only to be the son of David, but also to be the son of God, God himself. That is what the Pharisees didn't believe, for in John 10:33, listen to what the Jews said. The Jews answered him, saying, "For a good work we do not stone you, but for blasphemy, and because you, being a man, make yourself God." That the Messiah was to be God has been a stumbling block for the Jews not only of that day, but of this day as well, for they see Deuteronomy 6 verse 4 as saying that there is only one person of the Godhead, instead of recognizing that one in that passage is not speaking of one person, but is speaking about the unity of God when compared to the many gods of the Canaanites in whose land they were about to enter. But getting back to Jesus' question, Psalms 110 verse 1 is a problem if you believe that the Messiah isn't to be God, for why would David then call him Lord? The first Lord in that passage is obviously God, in this case God the Father, but the second Lord in that passage is also God, the Messiah, for that is who this psalm is about. Jesus is saying that he is the second Lord spoken of in Psalms 110, for he is the son of David, fulfilling Old Testament prophecy about the Messiah, but he is also the son of God, Deity, fulfilling the prophecy found in Psalms 110. Only one who is the son of David and the son of God could be the Messiah, for if he was simply a man only, he could not be the Messiah. Now, if you remember from Matthew's account, Matthew tells us that nobody in the crowd was able to answer him a word because either they didn't understand the passage or they did understand but didn't want to admit the consequences of it, for they didn't believe it. Coming now to verse 45, we have Jesus warning the people about the scribes. In Matthew's account, he spends almost the entire 23rd chapter doing this, but here in Luke, we get only a summary of what Jesus said. The problem with the scribes was they loved the prestige of being the religious elite, in that they loved the long robes, the best seats in the synagogues and feasts, and being greeted in the marketplace. But in actuality, they were hypocrites. Why? Well, for one, they devoured widows' houses, meaning that they were taking advantage of widows through their power and enlarging their own estates. Another reason they were hypocrites were that they made long prayers in order to be seen of men. It is not wrong to pray for a long time, but it is wrong if the only reason we're doing so is to appear religious. Prayer is an opportunity to talk and commune with God, and so we should do so because we want to and because we need to. The scribes would receive the greater condemnation, not that they would suffer more in hell, but that because they thought themselves to be righteous, they would be shocked when God rejects them. We must follow God's will if we expect to be saved by God's grace. With that, our time is up for today. Lord willing, we hope you'll join us for tomorrow's discussion of Luke chapter 21, verses 1 to 4, as we continue our walk through the Bible, one verse at a time. Thank you for watching today's episode. We hope that you found it edifying and ask that you not only subscribe to our channel and podcast, but that you like and share this episode among your friends, so that the saving gospel of Jesus Christ can go out to the whole world.